Heads. Join Will, Eric and myself as we bring you the latest, most up-to-date important tech news that affects you from Australia and the world. Weekly podcast available each Friday through iTunes. Watch the live stream recording of the show at live.thesecrethub.com each Thursday night 7:30pm or GMT plus 10. Call in live via Skype or chat in our lounge. However you get us, just make sure you do. Listen or visit our website for more information, www.aussietechhead.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's longest running tech news podcast.
Techwebcast, streamed from our brains to our mouths, to your ears, to your brain. It's like our brains are holding hands. Brain hands. That doesn't really make sense, but Techwebcast does. Tech stuff, gadgets, games. Come and wander around geek heaven with us. Techwebcast, here, now. Holding brain hands.
Oh, nice. Now brains have hands on them? And welcome to episode 287 of the Techwebcast podcast, recorded on 10th of May, 2014. Techwebcast is recorded every Saturday at 12 p.m. and please rate us on iTunes and like us on Facebook/Techwebcast. And we got our guest and host today, Brad, Steve, Jen, myself, Jacob, and Jody. And our guest today, Vincent Brown from Vintuitive/Kung Fu, Keyboard Kung Fu.
Well said, Jacob Jones. How are you today, mate?
All right.
And also we got Jennifer back on as always. Welcome back, Jennifer.
Thank you. How's your week been?
Been good. And your week? How's your week been?
It has been great. It has been a busy week. I got a new toy, which was fun.
Oh, yeah.
And so good stuff.
That is cool. We need to talk about that very soon.
Yep.
Steve also got a new toy as well. Jennifer, welcome back,
Ooh.
Steve.
Hey, my new toy, the iPhone 5S, with the new service plan, Straight Talk, no contract. I'm getting rid of my damn contract. I hate that damn thing.
Nice one. Now, Straight Talk. Now, explain to people that are listening to the podcast in Australia or wherever in the UK or whatever, what is Straight Talk and how does it work?
I mean, they have several no contracts out there. It's primarily a budget one, but because the one I have now, I just have a basic plan for $50, but if you go over like data, then they charge you $20 extra for each 300 megabytes of data, and they charge you for text unless you get the higher price plan. So with this no contract, unlimited everything, I'm probably going to be saving over a 2-year period about $480. Now, I do have to buy the iPhone outright, but in the long term, I'm going to save a lot more money. And then I don't have to worry about if I run over, I'm going to be charged extra and things like that. So I'm glad to finally get away from AT&T. But ironically, they're the ones that are actually buying out Straight Talk anyway. But still, it's good all around.
And how long have you had it for, Steve? The phone?
Not really that long, just maybe 2 or 3 days. I did load like my programs and everything else. The new Touch ID sensor is really interesting.
Nice one.
Works quite well.
Yeah, I love the ID, the Touch ID.
Do you have an iPhone 5S?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I got a 64 gig one.
Awesome. Virtual high five. Woo.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. So Jennifer, she's got an iPhone 5S too.
Oh, do you?
I do have a 5S. So that's nice that it's available for Straight Talk now. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to see that it's more widely available, the iPhone 5S.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Also, we've got Vincent on. Welcome, Vincent, from Venturative.com. Good to have you on, mate.
Oh, hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And we're talking about Keyboard Kung Fu.
Yes, sirree.
And, Jennifer, you got a new toy. What did you get this week?
I got my hands on the new HTC One M8, the Harman Kardon edition, and that is the one where they have Harman Kardon technology called Clarify, and it restores all types of compressed digital music, and it provides a more lifelike headphone listening experience using their what they call life stage technology. And so it's built into the phone. And so I had already had the HTC One M8, and I am sending that one back, and I got this one. It arrived today, the new M8 with the Harman Kardon technology, and it sounds really nice. Yeah, I can definitely tell a difference. It sounds really good.
Well,
I
supposedly
can even say for the MacBook Air, the sound coming out of that is fantastic. The audio of that, it's good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Yeah, they're doing better with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, definitely.
actually
Definitely.
the HTC One's supposed to have one of the best audio systems because they have like right and left speakers, and they're how's the audio even before? Was it better than most cell phones?
It was good. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. It was definitely louder. You're right, and it had the different the two speakers on it, and you could just kind of set it down and listen to music, and it sounded decent, better than it sounds out of another phone.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. Yeah, and now it sounds even better. Yeah.
All right,
So-
nice one. Enjoy the new phone, Jen.
Thank you.
And yeah, okay, let's get into some news, and then we'll have a chat with Vincent about keyboard shortcut.
Cool. Okay. Well, the first story is coming from gizmodo.com.au, and it is about Foxtel. And they evidently have the Foxtel pirates, they say, have been sentenced for card sharing an illegal set-top box network. Two men, a father and son, were sentenced in a Sydney court for illegally providing access to Foxtel's subscription TV network using a network of encryption-breaking decoder cards and set-top boxes that they used to that they sold to over 8,000 people across Australia. So it was definitely a large-scale piracy ring, and it was broken up by the federal police and the anti-piracy company engaged by Foxtel. So one of the men was actually sentenced to a 6-month jail term, followed by community service and home detention, and the other was placed on a good behavior bond. And the third man, instrumental in the piracy network, the one that was responsible for operating the card-sharing network itself, is still facing charges. So what's your take on this? Would you, I'm wondering, I mean, do you know anyone that was part of this, that signed up for the bogus network?
No,
the illegal network?
No, I don't know anyone who'd sign up to that thing. But it's pretty bad though. It's not good.
No, 8,000. That's a lot of people.
It is.
I wonder how much money this guy was making off of Foxtel by
Yeah, a lot of money.
these guys.
A lot of money. Vincent,
Yeah.
you have a view on this story?
Yeah, it seems like the modern day illegal cable setup, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, where you would just illegally tap into the cable. It's like
Yeah.
that's how you do it these days.
You're right. It does sound like that.
Yep.
I haven't thought about that. When was the last time someone stole cable? Well, I guess now you're. But
I've seen a
you know,
Seinfeld episode about that. Did you see that one, Jennifer?
no, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, the two Russian guys.
That's it. That's it.
That sounds
That's
funny.
it. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Right, yeah. Steve, what about you? You got a view on this story, mate?
Actually, it kind of reminds me very much of a similar court case here in America, where the company Aereo, they actually take over-the-air broadcasts, and they provide a subscription service for people to watch it over the internet. And right now, it's been taken to court once, and the court says it's legal, but I have a feeling it's going to be appealed, and so it's going to continue on as well. So this kind of reminds me very much of that court case.
Okay. All right. Jacob, do you have a view on this story, mate?
Yeah, I don't like it at all because Foxtel itself is losing the money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are indeed. They put a lot of money into that, getting shows and putting new channels in, and these people go and, do this stuff, and yeah.
I'm wondering if if they're getting those boxes illegally as well.
Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Jennifer, do you have a view on this story, or did you say it already?
No, I don't have an additional view on the story.
All right.
I think it's wrong that they're doing it, and
Yeah.
I think it's good that they got caught. And so I'm wondering, it's a kind of a shame for people that those 8,000 people that invested in that, if they signed up for it and they didn't know what they were getting, or now they have all that wasted money. I guess they should have looked into it though and signed up with the
Well,
real
I'm sure they've got
Foxtel.
their money back and that sort of thing, and
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. But yeah,
Unless they get
So-
implicated in it as well, because
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they did know. It's like a drug dealer dealing drugs to someone that the person who buys them gets in trouble too.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
okay.
One big
So-
jail cell full of people.
8,000 people.
TV lovers.
Very crowded.
All right, shall we move on to the next story?
Go ahead. Yep.
Go
right.
ahead.
This one is coming from businessspectator.com.au, and it is about QuickFlix. So evidently, QuickFlix is setting its sights on Apple TV, and they are looking at bringing QuickFlix to Apple TV. So that's a huge deal. So Apple TV does have a latest firmware update, and it added the Lifestyle channel, A&E, and History channels. And those apps are not on an Australian Apple TV, nor will you see the likes of Netflix or Hulu Plus or HBO Go, not unless if you dip into the settings and switch across to the US iTunes store. So there's only a handful of apps that are actually on the Apple TV that are open to Australians, such as the NBA Network, NHL, Major League Baseball, as well as Core TV from Korea. So it's been pretty hard for Australians to try to use an Apple TV without using some of the U.S. services. But now, evidently, it will be getting QuickFlix on the Apple TV. So that's some good news for everyone in Australia. I think it's
definitely.
a pretty big deal. Yeah,
It's one of the first strain up that will be coming onto the Apple TV.
that's fantastic.
So maybe more to follow after that. Maybe ABC iView and 7 Plus and them sort of things. Perhaps.
Yeah, hopefully so. It would be nice to see more and more Australian apps making it onto the Apple TV.
Definitely. Vincent, your view on this story, mate?
Yeah, I do like the Apple TV. It's an excellent device, but because of the lack of support in Australia or the lack of options, I've sort of been hanging out for them to introduce apps so that we can add our favorite iOS apps onto the interface there.
Yeah.
But I've to be honest, I've just gotten used to using it as an iOS receiver. So I have all the the ABC iView, Channel 7, 10, and all the rest of them on my iOS devices, and I'm quite happy to use that as the interface and AirPlay.
Oh, so you do Mirror Play. Okay.
Yeah. So I've often likened the iPod Touch to the new remote control, because everything's on there and it's just take your pick, play that one. It's nice and easy. So I find it just as easy, or perhaps even easier, than using the Apple interface.
Cool one, mate. Good one. Steve, what about you?
I think, of course, it's important for them to get into many content boxes as possible, not just through the internet, but just like Vincent said, they are pretty limited on what they can get in Australia. Unlike America, we can get nearly anything, and it's actually one of the most popular set-top boxes we have here. But of course, it's great to have as many things as possible over there.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. More the better, I say, and and it's good to see.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, good to see. Yeah, and just want to say, good to see QuickFlix is getting like Netflix, as Stephen mentioned in one of the posts about that Apple TV thing. I think was that one. Jacob, what about you? What's your view on this?
We were talking about it, and I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be much more easier because didn't they say they're going to be putting more stuff from US on there?
Well, I hope so.
That'd be nice, but it's usually hard for them to do that. Within reason. Like countries don't like to cross, like from Australia to America and vice versa. But sometimes they do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And it'd be interesting to see when QuickFlix does come on the Apple TV, how it's all designed and the app, and I think it'd be pretty nice, the layout and stuff. And Jennifer, what about you?
I think it is fantastic. I am really happy to see that they have partnered with Apple TV, and I really hope that more companies develop apps in Australia that work on the Apple TV, because I think that is so needed. Or it would be nice if out here in the States, it would be, I don't know, that they'd get through the red tape and open up these apps so that they can actually work in Australia without having to change to the US iTunes store.
Definitely. Now, what about Chromecast coming to Australia, Vincent? What's your view on that? Would many people be buying that at all, do you reckon? Or?
I don't think many people know about it other than sort of geeky people.
Yeah.
So they'd have to do some pretty serious campaigning, advertising. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be interested myself.
Yeah, no, the Apple TV is a pretty good device, and that's going to be supported as well. QuickFlix will be supported by Chromecast as well. So.
Oh, it will?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yep. That's a surprise, actually.
So, that's good. That's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Very cool. Yep. Okay, Jennifer, next story.
Okay, the next story I am excited about. I love Google Now, and I use it constantly. Every day I use Google Now. It's the first thing I fire up on my phone. So now, Google Now will tell you if nearby stores have a product that you've searched for. So Google Now is going to remind you to spend money. The latest update to Google Search, with this, they will allow for Android users that will be able to receive notifications when nearby retailers are carrying an item that they've recently searched for online. So if you've done a search for some new hiking boots or a toy, for example, that card might show up that shows a store nearby that happens to have that product. So you'll see the products, their price, and the stores where you can buy them from. And the card is meant to remind you that you wanted them. It's not clear exactly how many products Google will keep track of at any one time, nor how long it will hang on to items that you've searched for to check to see if you can buy them locally. So I'm curious what everyone's thoughts are on this and whether or not you use Google Now. I know there's a lot of Apple users on the show tonight, but there is a Google search app that allows for Google Now on your Apple device too. So do you all use that or?
No, I don't use it. I don't use it. No, I don't use it. Vincent, do you use it?
No, I've never used it.
Oh my gosh. It's the best.
Dave, what about you? Do you use
actually, I do have something to say about it. Now, I haven't really used Google Now, but I really do love the Google voice search that seems to work exceptionally well. So I'm kind of interested to see how, to actually use Google Now, because I know it's so quick, and I have to even admit in times it does seem to be a bit better than Siri. Of course, Siri answers back more intelligently as far as I know, but I don't know how to compare it with Google Now until I actually sit there and use it, see how it responds. But they're always improving their voice, recognition and search. So I have a feeling it works quite well using the search features anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It's interesting that it seems comparable to Apple's iBeacons, and there's been a bit of flack about that. Do you really want to be pestered every time you're sort of walking around the shops? But also the issue that you're going to have the retailer's app on your phone, and perhaps even have it running at the time, which is sort of ridiculous. So this seems far superior to that.
It does. I agree.
Well, with iBeacons, though, it's just not restricted to retail. It's so much more. There's games being centered around it. There's
sure. I
was
just talking about the retail.
I'm just talking about generally. But I agree with you. It just depends on how retailers utilize it. If they're going to be nagged too much with advertisement and everything like that, then yes, it'll be a problem.
Yeah, I personally find it very annoying.
And I would think that you could turn off these different items that you don't want to show up in Google Now, too. So let's say you didn't want these. Oops, my phone just reacted to me.
Yeah, try
You don't
that.
want them to. Because I can set what cards I want in the settings of my Google Now, in Google Now.
Hey, maybe
so I
we
can
can use
actually
it on the air. Can you get it to work on the air? We can hear it.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Can we do Google Now through the air so we can hear it?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
Well, it's basically it's more of a but I could talk to it.
Will it respond back to you? Will it say something?
Yeah, we'll talk back. Okay, I'll say, okay, Google Now. Oh, let me turn the volume up. I have it on silent because we're on the show. Okay. Okay, Google Now. What's the weather out? I should say outside.
It's 66 degrees and clear in Jamestown.
But it has the whole thing where it's... Okay, we'll do this. Who is Guy Kawasaki?
According to Wikipedia, Guy Kawasaki is the chief evangelist of Canva, an online graphic design tool.
Is he married?
His spouse is Beth Kawasaki.
So that's the thing. It has that whole contextual search available with it, so I can search for something. And then say
questions.
Exactly. Yeah, which is kind of nice. But the card feature in Google Now is really sweet. If I'm looking at my Google Now right now, no, don't react to me. And and it tells me a friend of mine is home. It says that, and it shows what TV shows are on right now that I might want to watch. It tells me the temperature. It tells me the nearby events that are happening right now. It tells me how long it would take to get to work or my parents' house and the stocks and all the information that I follow. It shows up here, as well as recent search results. So it's great.
TV shows does it show for
TV shows, let me pull it back up again. The Tonight Show, Late Night with David Letterman, The Simpsons. Here's a film, Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa.
How about Australian shows?
Community, Blue Bloods, whatever that is, Hannibal. So that goes on and on. Wow. There's films. It shows me films that I could watch on Google Play or Amazon Instant Video.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, very cool. All right, Jennifer, let's go to the next story.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
So, speaking of watching things on TV, NBC... This is crazy. NBC has a $7 billion Olympics deal that will keep us watching the Olympics with NBC until 2032. That's right, 2032. So they went ahead and got this deal. They outbid rivals from ABC and ESPN, and they have agreed to a $7 billion Olympics deal and will be broadcasting the Olympics. So they currently, right now, I believe what they had done was, they had it on TV and they also had the app. So they should still be doing the app. I believe that app is called, oh no, I'm wrong on this. My apologies. I misspoke. That's the end of the story.
Oops, okay,
so basically, they're going to be having the Olympics until 2032.
Nice one. Then do you get the Olympics on your TV, Jennifer? Because you have cable TV. Can you still watch that on your TV? Or
since NBC is it's a network TV station for a nationwide network, then I can access it. It's over the air, basically. It's not over cable. It's over the air, so I can watch it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Jacob, what about you? What's your view on this?
And I don't watch the Olympics much.
Okay. No comment then from you. Vincent, what about you?
It sounds like a lot to say till 2032, but really that's only, 4 Olympic Games?
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's every 4 years, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Still, that's a lot of money, and it's a long way in the future.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Makes me feel poor.
Yeah. Okay, Steve, what about you?
I don't know. At first, before you mentioned that every 4 years, I was thinking, well, it might be better just to renegotiate every 4 years. That way, you can keep the competition up, because if you let one network just have it, they may kind of just let it fall after a while. So I think it's better every year, and you may end up getting more money, toward the end. Because each year, or every time you got to come.
A lot happens in a short time.
Yeah.
These days, like in 4 years, lots going to happen, and will TVs still exist in 2032?
Yeah, be on the internet, True.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mm-hmm.
Get a TV corneal implant
in your brain. It goes straight to your brain.
That would be weird.
Like Batman.
Yep. All right.
But it does actually say it's internet and mobile devices, so it's the whole thing. No matter what you're going to do, however you're going to watch
I didn't
it.
realize. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next story, Jennifer.
Okay. This one's coming from neowin.net. And later this month, Microsoft will be hosting a Surface event where they should be announcing the Surface Mini along with some other Intel-related products or updates. So up to this point, no one has been able to see or obtain any leaked images of this device, but there have been a lot of created mock-ups that you'll see online. And there are a few mock-ups that are out and about. One is a 4:3 setup, and the other one is a 16:9 resolution or setup, I guess. And both incorporate the information that the device will not have a kickstand or support the pen input. And they have the same body lines as the current gen Surface tablets. But then again, these are just mock-ups. They're not exactly what should be launched. But just keep your eyes and ears open for later this month in the new Surface Mini.
Nice one. All right. Any views on that story, Vincent?
No, not really.
No, I don't have a view either because Microsoft. I'm not a fan of Microsoft. Jacob, what about you?
No comment.
All right, gentlemen. Next up.
Oh, wait a minute. I got a comment.
Wait, Steve had a comment.
Oh, go ahead, Steve. Yep.
I think it has to go along with the industry standard, what most tablet manufacturers put out now. Of course, some of the cheaper tablets that for a lower price, they're around 7 inches. And Apple as well, they reduced their size for their iPad mini. So it's just going along with everybody else.
Okay. I'm quite surprised, Jacob, that you didn't know about, because you're the one who added this story. I'm quite surprised you didn't have a comment.
Yeah, I just want to talk about that one.
You did?
Yeah.
But you didn't have a comment to say about it?
No comment.
Yeah.
No comment. Okay, to the next story.
My comment is I'll use an iPad before I get one of those.
Yeah. Okay.
Piece of paper.
Holding brain hands. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Holding a rock.
All right, so the next story is coming from slashgear.com, and this is pretty cool. The upcoming E3 event next month will encompass a variety of conferences, including one from Sony, the details of which have been reportedly leaked in great detail to the folks at DualShockers, and they're going to be announcing some game deals or details, and there's a claim that a price drop for the PlayStation 3 and the Vita will supposedly be revealed at the event. So according to DualShockers, an unnamed source provided details reportedly named that Sony Worldwide Studios contacts and a source in a New York marketing firm, and a secondary source was contacted and confirmed some of the leaked details. So as far as the details go, Sony will show off a 3-minute trailer about the PS4, demoing some of the in-engine footage and gameplay, and this will what they're talking about for Uncharted on PS4. This will be available in summer 2015, I guess, and then also tipped for summer 2015 will be a new title from Media Molecule. So keep your eyes out for the new E3 conference, or not new, it's an existing conference, but the upcoming E3 conference next month for announcements from Sony.
All right, good stuff. Jen, Vincent, you have a view on them stories, on that story?
Nope.
Nope, I got it either. Jacob, do you have a view? Do you have a comment?
Well, I like that. Like the idea that they're going to be bringing out new stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm kind of interested what Jennifer has to say, because I think she had. Don't you have like a PS4 or something? Or
I have a PS4. I haven't turned it on in like a month.
Oh,
So I have one. I don't know why I got one. It was the peer pressure. It's like, oh, everyone's talking PS. It's like it's literally peer pressure. It's brainwashing.
Wow.
And it worked on me, and that's why I bought it. It's a great device. It's super fast and beautiful. The graphics are gorgeous. I just am not a gamer, so I shouldn't have bought it. I thought so many people are gamers, so maybe I'm missing out on something. Clearly, if so many people love it, there's got to be something great about it. Why am I not into this? I should be into it. So that was my thought process behind buying one, and I bought it, and I just can't make myself play. It's hard.
Jen, and I'll use it.
It's hard to find the time. It's like I'd rather do other things that use my brain instead of sitting in front of the TV playing a video game.
True.
I'd rather be doing some. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Anyway.
Next story.
Next story is about net neutrality coming from HuffingtonPost.com. And it is saying that basically every big internet firm has signed a letter against the FCC's net neutrality plan. More than 100 tech companies, including Google, Facebook, Twitter, and Amazon, have written to U.S. telecom regulators to oppose a new net neutrality plan that would regulate how internet providers manage web traffic. The letter to the FCC chairman Tom Wheeler and the agency's 4 commissioners, warning of a grave threat to the internet, came as one FCC commissioner called for a delay of the vote that was that was scheduled for May 15th. And to quote here, I'll be quoting Commissioner Jessica Rosenworcel. She says, rushing headlong into a rulemaking next week fails to respect the public response to Wheeler's proposal. She called for a delay in the vote to formally propose that Wheeler's plan be at least a month. So I'm curious. Well, let me read a little bit more here. Consumer advocates are worried basically that the rules would ultimately allow internet companies such as Comcast or Verizon to create fast lanes for the web for traffic of content companies that will pay up, potentially shutting out poor newcomers. So it's definitely quite a concern, if this goes through, and we could see a lot of, I guess, tiered internet where people with deeper pockets or companies with deeper pockets would pay more money to be able to get their content going out at a faster speed. So I think if I'm explaining that the right way. So I'll open it up to you all.
Tim, do you have a view? Comment?
Who, me?
Vincent.
Okay.
Well, it's an American thing, really, isn't it? It's been a long time coming. Been talking about this for ages, and I really think that just with the increase of use in America of Netflix, basically, that everyone's coming home from work and just flicking on Netflix on their computers and sucking all the bandwidth out of the pipes, and it's a real problem. I don't think it would be such a problem if Netflix didn't exist. But that's neither here nor there. They do exist. Something's got to break, and we've come to that point.
Good answer, Vincent. Jennifer, do you use Netflix every day? I probably guarantee you probably do. Use it every day, mate. Am I right?
Did you say Jacob or Jennifer?
Jennifer.
Oh, yeah. I use it often. I don't use it every day. I use it maybe once a week.
Okay, good. What about you, Jacob? Do you use Netflix every day or once a week or what?
Every great once in a while.
Okay. All right. What about you, Steve?
I used to use Netflix. Now I do it other ways, but it's not really surprising they're doing this, and they should, because like it's been mentioned before, brand new startups, they can't really compete with the bigger guys because they can pay more money to do this. And actually, Netflix is doing this as well. They're paying, I believe it's Comcast, for the extra bandwidth to do this. But now, going a little bit what Vincent said, even though they're paying more to do this, how's this going to affect bandwidth for other people? Which it all depends, because people like Comcast and other service providers, they keep on adding as many people as they can get in there because they're paying a monthly fee. But are they really upgrading their services that take account for this higher bandwidth? And that's what it is these days. Is more people's using videos and online services, so we need that extra bandwidth. So it is also important for these service providers to, on a regular basis, expand the bandwidth and to make access easier. Hello?
All right. I'm just waiting for Jennifer to answer. No, Jennifer, what about you?
Well, I am under the impression, or I basically side with everyone else against the net neutrality plan and or against the FCC's net neutrality plan, and I'm on the side of Google and Amazon and all those guys. Yeah. So I would like to see it just more. I would like to see it
more open
regulated
and free?
To a point. Oh. Yeah, where I don't want to see companies being able to pay more and get faster traffic just for their content. I can see something like that going in the wrong direction. So I don't know. I kind of like the way it is now. I just wish the prices were less, but just to be able, just for normal people, just to pay and get the speed that we pay for, and that's it, rather than having different tiers the way they're talking about maybe doing if this passes.
All right, cool. All right, next story, Jennifer. This is the last story, right? Probably.
This is the last story. This story is pretty cool. I like this idea. So this is coming from digitaltrends.com. And what if you could get movies 17 days after theaters and pay by the screen size? They say that video killed the radio star, but will video downloading kill the movie industry? Not if the industry insiders can help it. In an attempt to confront the growing disconnect between the modern technology and the sluggish release of movies from theaters to living rooms, the head of DreamWorks Animation, Jeffrey Katzenberg, has proposed an interesting solution. Instead of holding back new releases for months, he wants to cut that time to a few weeks and charge viewers for the privilege of viewing the piping hot content onto a sliding scale dependent upon screen size. So, according to the BBC, Katzenberg unveiled his vision for this change of the current industry paradigm at a press conference last week. He mentioned that he would like to see the new model that would see movies released for distribution to the public at large just a short 17 days after being in the theater. On the 18th day, these movies would be available everywhere, ubiquitously, and you will pay for the size. So he put out a pricing scale with fresh cut releases and suggested that under the new model, those theater-sized screens would pay $15 for a new release. Those with the 75-inch screen would pay $4, and a smartphone viewer would pay only $2. So I love this idea. Heck yeah. I mean, I don't go to the movies anymore anyway. I can't see spending money on going to the theater when shortly thereafter it's going to be available for us to view on our device, or on our TV. So why pay so much money to go to a theater? Unless if it's something like a 3D film, a high, sci-fi movie, something like Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever. Not Star Wars, but Star Trek or, something like that. Then I could see it. Yeah.
Good idea. I reckon good idea. Vincent, good idea or bad idea?
It's a really strange idea.
Yeah.
Because, it's great for the consumers and it's too good, really, because the thing that puzzles me is we are already seeing that a lot of young people in particular are preferring to look at, to watch stuff on the smaller devices, whether that be an iPad or even an iPhone. Or, sorry, I shouldn't just Appleize everything, either a phone or a tablet. So it's like, it's to make that the cheapest option is I think that's going to be very, very popular. But also, the other thought that I had was, tying in from what I was saying about the Quick Flicks story in Australia on Apple TV. How I was saying that I actually don't even use the Apple interface. I just use my iOS device and AirPlay. So I was thinking, well, people are going to be doing that. Pay $2 to watch it on their smartphone and then just AirPlay it.
Yeah, I love AirPlay.
Or mirror it to a much larger screen. I mean, technologically, I don't know how they're going to monitor and police this.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Jake, what about you?
That would be pretty cool. Like you could see a movie in the theaters, wait a few days, and then pop right out.
Yep, definitely. Okay, Steve, what about you?
I can see both good and bad with this. Obviously, you can watch a movie or centered around the time that you can do it. I mean, people work the night shift and in different times, so it'd be kind of great to be able to watch it when they need to in 17 days. But I'm kind of wondering how this would affect in long term, maybe with the physical theater where you have to drive out to and go and see. Perhaps that's why they do have a time limit. A minimum of 17 days to allow the theaters to show it first.
Remember drive-ins, Steve?
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention too. Drive-in theater where they show it in an open field, with the screen, and that kind of went away. So with the advent
maybe cinemas are going to go the same way.
Yeah, I'm nostalgic, so I kind of hate to see that happen as well. But that might end up happening in so many years from now. It's all going to be at home, but.
$2, geez.
Yeah, plus it's cheaper too. So the cheaper price, you can go home and watch it, or
I personally haven't been to the cinema for years.
Yeah, same.
I admit I haven't nearly as much.
Do you watch many movies, Steve, at all? Sorry, Vincent, do you watch many movies?
No, I don't. I don't even watch DVDs or anything really. I've gotten tired of the predictable plots and I just usually prefer to watch user-generated stuff these days. There's a lot of that online for free.
Yep. All right, Jennifer, good. Thanks for doing the news.
Sure. You guys picked some good stories tonight.
Yep.
So good job.
Yep.
Now, let's talk about your podcast minute, Jennifer, and you had Alex on from doing an app called Chat Center.
Yeah. So we had Alex Komarov on from Chat Center, and he also put out World Clock for Mac, which is beautiful, by the way. You should definitely, if you haven't installed World Clock, especially for you, since you work with people all over the world with the podcast.
Yep.
World Clock helps so well with that. So I definitely recommend installing it if you haven't yet. I think you do have it, right?
I have it, yes. I got it the first.
You do have it.
Came out.
Yeah.
You mentioned on Twitter.
It's beautiful, right?
It's very nice.
So we talked about that, and we chatted about Chat Center, and he was telling me how they really are going to open it up so it will be a truly universal chat center, where it's going to be kind of, he used the analogy of how everyone has a phone number, and you can be reached at that phone number no matter what device you're on. So if you're on a payphone, you don't have to call somebody who's on another payphone. You can, a number is a number. You can just reach them anywhere, through any device. That's kind of how they're looking at with Chat Center. It's basically a name that you have, and you can reach them through any device from any platform, whether it's through the web or through an app, but you don't have to install an app to use it. So that's their vision for this. So right now it is in beta, and there's just the iOS version of the app, but there will be Android and all the others eventually, and they're planning on rolling out the web version very, very soon so that you could actually create usernames and have your username account on there, and they're going to do a lot more with it. So I'm curious to see, I'm looking forward to seeing the final product with it. So I like the idea behind it. I think it's definitely a smart idea.
Keith T is very smart, don't you think? Keith T is a great guy. He knows what he's doing, and he's put out some great apps.
Oh yeah, he's very smart. He actually commented on my post about it, and he said, I'll read what he said. It's really good. It makes sense. Let's see here. It's taking a while to, all right, here we go. Let's see. Chat Center. Okay. I think this is it. Oh my goodness. Of course, when I want to try to find something, I can't find it. It's got to be right here. Here it is. Okay. So, yeah, so Keith wrote, this is a better understanding of Universal. It is centered on the idea of a universal chat ID or handle. Mine is /Keith. The service runs via HTTP, so anyone can access a browser and can chat with me. It's me and my name that is universal. Try it here. So he has the URL to reach him. He said, just tap and click and type into the browser. Chat Center is iOS initially. Its role is to send alerts and notifications to the receiver and to keep a history and an address book. And we'll definitely release it for Android and the web as well as Mac and Windows in time. So now, once fully deployed, you can chat with anybody who has a handle without needing to know what phone or what apps they are using. Chat becomes a property of the person, not a specific app. Just as a phone number works no matter what phone or dialer you use, even if your phone changes, carriers, etc. So I thought he phrased that really well. So I like it. Have you been playing with it?
Yeah, I have. I love it. I love the app. I reckon it's well done up and some updates through, and it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Jacob, what about you?
I use it all the time now.
Do you really?
Yes.
It's only probably been released for a little while, but okay.
Oh, Steve, you need to install it on your phone now that you have the iPhone 5S.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Actually, I just found about it today. The world clock sounds interesting as well because I use that just to make sure, I'm on time with Brad because I got to do my show before his, so I got to, synchronize everything. So that sounds very interesting too.
Yeah. And then for your iPhone, go to chatcenter.com/download to download the app to your iPhone.
And actually, let me write it down so I don't forget here.
No, I'm sorry. Chatcenter.me/download. So chatcenter.me/download.
Yep.
Yeah. And then World Clock is just in the Mac App Store for your Mac. Yeah.
So what was that, Matt? What was the name of the program you said? The World Clock?
World Clock.
Oh, okay.
Clock, yeah. So yeah, that's good. So you got the iPhone 5S. That's good, mate. And yeah. So get that up, get that onto your phone, mate. And
yeah, I'm going to try some of it out. If I don't forget, usually I'm pretty busy, so sometimes I forget, but I'll try to do it this week.
Right. Yeah, do it soon so you can get your username.
Yeah,
because right now. Yeah. Brad, what's your username?
Mine's
Brad, right?
Brad, yeah.
Brad.
Yeah.
How original? No, just kidding.
Yeah, what do you want to say, Jacob?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to say something about Craig.
I'm not saying anything about Craig. I got nothing to say about him. I got nothing to say to him. What do I want to say something about Craig Chip for?
Because he's trash.
No, he's not.
Damn right
what
away.
The heck?
What? Crash?
Oh, my
Called him
goodness.
trash or something.
Oh, trash. I was like, what the?
Just out of the blue.
Oh, my gosh.
As a joke.
I want to hear about keyboard kung fu.
Yeah, let's talk to Vincent about keyboard kung fu. Vincent, welcome to the show, mate.
Oh, thanks.
Is it a new fighting style?
Yeah.
So how long's keyboard kung fu been around for, and what made you get into this sort of thing?
It's been around for, that's a good question. I don't know, about 10, 11 weeks now.
Okay, it's all new then. So it's new.
Yep. It's one lesson every week, every Friday. It's basically a new way to learn keyboard shortcuts because, we've all been there before, printed out the shortcuts and sort of tried to memorize them, but never got around to actually remembering which ones or just forgotten about using them. So, I thought do it nice and easy, one every week so that you get a week to implement that into your workflow before the next one comes. And the whole point of doing them as images was to create a multi-sensory approach to learning because I'm actually I have a teaching background, and through that I've learned that it's much better to create a lot of tactile or some things that you can grip onto, some hooks that will get into your memory and stay in your brain. And the best way to do that is to cram as much as you can into each one. So I take a photo of my hand on the keyboard or do a short video and describe it. And wrap it all together in sort of a Taoist philosophical way, hence the Kung Fu.
Okay, nice one. Steve, any questions?
It's more of a statement, but I've been trying to utilize more keyboard shortcuts myself because I find it does speed up productivity up to a certain point. Now, I do use it a lot more, like when I'm in Final Cut Pro 10, it really does make it faster, and it's not very difficult to use. Now, when I'm in the operating system, it's a little bit harder because sometimes you get to utilize three keys at any one time, and it makes it, more keys a little bit more hard for me. But some programs, it's actually more intuitive, and I think it carries over to almost all the Mac applications. It carries over, I think, a lot of it.
Yeah, it's actually a good point. Well, first, when you say you've got sometimes 3 or 4 fingers going, that's another reason why I called it Kung Fu, because it's quite you've got to be quite sort of skilled and agile and dexterous. But yeah, having them the awareness that they are. I don't know what the term is, app sensitive, I suppose, so that you have to be aware of what's in focus. So, if you're doing a general OS shortcut, that's not going to be applicable to some apps. So that if you've got Photoshop open, for example, and you might try and copy and paste something, or even try and hide the Photoshop app, you'll find that it doesn't actually work because it's a third-party app. So Photoshop's a bit of an obscure example, but most things work. But yeah, back onto the Kung Fu thing. Steve, you might be old enough to remember the 70s TV series called Kung Fu with David Carradine in it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to watch it as a kid, and I really got into it. And it possibly even is what spurred my interest in Taoism, because it's very Taoist in its approach. Actually, I recently watched an interview with David Carradine. He said it was the FCC that forced him into doing that. They wanted to do a full-on fighting Kung Fu in the Western setting. But the FCC kept making them cut all the fighting scenes out, and said, "Oh, you can only have like 1 minute or 30 seconds or something crazy of fighting scenes." And so they said, "Hey, let's just make it into a peaceful sort of, that's the whole thing about a lot of these martial arts is that you try to avoid the fight." So it became more of a philosophical thing, and I think that's where I got my interest in Taoism. And that's another element of the Keyboard Kung Fu lessons, is that it's sort of a spin-off of my general Taoist approach to business, and putting Taoist principles into practice in the business setting.
Okay. Jennifer, any questions?
Yeah, I have been watching the Keyboard Kung Fu tip that you put out on Fridays, and I am curious what so far has been your most successful tip or your favorite tip?
Well, actually, yesterday's was the most popular one, and I think it might just be because it's gaining more. I mean, it's old now. It's getting on. We're into the 11th, 12th week or whatever, as I said. So more and more people are becoming aware of it. So it might be that reason. Sometimes it's just the image. Some people find that one image more attractive than another, and that's another key aspect of it, is to create some eye-grabbing visual image to get people's interest. Otherwise, who's going to look at a boring shortcut? They're really boring. So you got to spice it up and make it exciting.
But you do a good job with the image too. Like I'm looking at the last one that you just did for Force Quit.
Yep.
and a nice clear image of the keyboard, and then the what the menu brings up. So how are you taking the image? Are you doing you have the camera above you with a tripod on it or something, or how are you? Because it looks perfect.
Thank you. I'll tell you how I do it. That was the result of taking 50 photographs.
Oh, goodness.
And the hardest part is choosing which of those 50 is the one to use.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're blurred. Sometimes, I try a lot of different angles, settings, lighting, and just choose the best one. Each time I'm trying a different setting as well, so it's getting more and more difficult as I use up all my settings. So this one was actually in my herb garden in the box. I'm sitting at the keyboard on the edge of the box, so you can see some wood there.
Yeah, I see that.
Give it some texture, and then the green, you see a bit of parsley.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, and
really
it's
cool.
It's again pulling in sort of a natural, sort of a Taoist, peaceful approach. And you'll see at the end of every lesson ends with a line from the Tao Te Ching, which is like I guess it's like the Taoist Bible. It's just a book of philosophy. And each one has a saying from the Tao Te Ching that is applicable to that particular keyboard shortcut. So the quitting one, for example, ends with, "What is not in accordance with Tao soon comes to an end."
Ah, I like that.
Yeah. So in other words, this force quit app's procedure is usually used in a situation when you don't have accordance on your computer. Your computer has gone into chaos and usually hung itself, and you need to bring it to an end. So force quitting is the way to do that.
And I never knew that Command Escape would pull that up either. So it was right. Command Escape.
Command Option Escape. Actually, you'll notice with my thumb there, I'm holding two buttons down.
Oh, it's an option. Yeah, it sure is. Okay. Yep.
And yeah, that's another little trick that you can actually sometimes hold two buttons down with one finger or thumb.
Yeah.
So, Vincent, what sort of equipment do you use to do this sort of stuff, and what's the future for this Confu keyboard shortcuts?
Well, I recently added email subscription, so that now you can just sign up and have it delivered to your inbox, which is nice and easy and handy because this doesn't appear on the front page of my blog. It's on a Keyboard Kung Fu page. Well, that is easy to navigate to from anywhere on my website. It's on the navigation menu, but I don't know. Just having them drop into your inbox in the Friday morning is a much better way to do it. Equipment. I'm on an iMac. It's an old one. It's from 19. No, it's not from 19. It's from 2008.
Yep.
So it's getting a bit long in the tooth.
Are you due to buy one very soon? Because I know I spoke to you the other day. You said you're looking into getting one, maybe.
I'm looking.
Yep. Yes, you're looking. Yes, I can't wait. It's going to be good when you get one, a new one.
Yeah, well, these every now and then you've got to bite the bullet and do it. So I'm scraping together some funds to look at doing that.
Exactly. Now, I just want to mention if anyone, I hope this is okay to say, Vincent. I'm going to say it anyway. But if anyone wants to chip in and help Vincent out in getting one, how can they get hold of you?
Oh, they can just go to vintuitive.com.
Yep.
And contact me via the contact page. Oh, gee, thanks a lot. Any offers are greatly received, but I don't expect anyone to seriously pay for my computer.
Well, I've seen people do it, and I don't see the harm in me or you or anyone else can do it.
Sure.
Good to help people out.
Thank you. The other piece of equipment I use, the photograph is taken with a very old Sanyo camera.
Okay.
I was just trying to remember what it was. It's so old. It's from 2004.
Wow.
And it's a 3.2 megapixel camera. But I was so lucky because it has a really, really, really good lens in it. And some of the photos are incredible, especially on the macro. Considering it's just a tiny little 3 3.2 megapixel. And that's it really. Just my Mac and my camera. Oh, and sometimes my iPod Touch.
Okay. Now you're a big fan of Vine.
Yes, I am. And I find that Vine, even though it's only 6 seconds, is perfect for this sort of stuff. So, doing a keyboard shortcut doesn't take very long. And I can show the keyboard shortcut in video, which is obviously good, a lot better than a photograph, because some people have said to me, oh, look, I've hit all those keys, and they haven't realized that, you have to sort of hold one down, then add another one, and then add another one. They've sort of just tried to punch them all at once and then just sort of like tapped them and let go. And it's like, oh, no, you can't do that. So having a video to just show them really easily, it's like, oh, I see, that's what you do. And then point the camera at the screen, and it's like, oh, and that's the effect that it has. So 6 seconds is really nice for that.
Yeah, definitely. Jake, have any questions for Vincent?
And you do got aim for Windows.
I have gone through some Windows shortcuts before I started the Keyboard Kung Fu series, and I have no plans to do a Windows one yet, but it certainly may come up in the future, because I do realise that I'm alienating a lot of my viewers by concentrating on Mac stuff. But a lot of my clients actually have moved from Windows to the Mac recently, and I'm helping them through just some of the the teething problems of moving to a new system. And is another reason why I thought I'd start this up, because they're often asking me, and I'm telling them, it's like, well, why don't I just make this public and share it with everyone?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people are moving from Windows to Mac. Say, Vincent, how many people? A lot of people doing that.
Yeah, and I think it's the popularity of the iOS devices, particularly the iPhone, that have introduced people to the ecosystem. And when they have a look at a Mac and realize, oh, it's quite similar to the way the iPhone works, and more so as we head towards the sort of the merging of the two, I really think that's responsible for a lot of people moving over to the Mac.
Yeah, I love the Mac. I moved to Mac for a while. Been on the Mac for a while now, and I love it. And Jennifer, you're on a Mac?
I am on a Mac. I've been on a Mac for about 10 years now, maybe, if not more. But I'm trying to remember when I started. My first Mac was an iBook, so I don't know what year that was. It was a long time ago.
Okay. Is that one of the white ones?
Yeah, the big, thick white iBook. Yeah. Which back then it wasn't too thick. Well, I guess it was thick, yeah.
How much were they to buy back in the day, Jennifer, when you bought that? How much was that?
Oh, gosh. I don't remember. Maybe like $1,500, maybe, perhaps. I remember always paying around the same amount of money for a computer all throughout the years. I never really, except my MacBook Pro right now. That one I paid a lot more for. But typically it seems to, the computer prices, it's amazing how low they are, and how either they remain the same or actually they went down, even with the cost of living and the economy and the everything changing. If you think about it, back in, I don't know, I think it was back in the 80s and 90s, it was a couple $1,000s for like a gateway computer or something, or a Dell, and it's interesting that the prices haven't gone up at all and the equipment is better. Huh?
Wow, what year was that?
Was it the 80s and 90s, wasn't it? I think it was. I thought it was around $2,000 for a good system back then.
I paid $4.5 for mine.
Wow.
How much?
$4.5.
For how much? 400?
$4,500.
$4,500?
Yeah, that was 1996.
Oh my gosh!
Actually, I'm looking up in the 90s a PowerBook, and that's about $4,600. Macintosh PowerBook 170.
My gosh!
Yeah, that's a lot of money. We need to get Jacob over to a Mac, Jennifer.
Yeah, Jacob.
Because every time I speak to him, he's doing something on a Windows computer, saying it's broken or it's got a virus or whatever.
I think he loves Windows though.
You'll never break me.
Operator error.
I don't think he will. I don't think he'll move.
But that's
over.
true, though, Jacob, right? Because every time I talk to you, you're always thinking something on the computer, right? There's always a virus or something on there.
Never a virus.
Or spyware or whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Nope, not even spyware. It's already gone.
Well, you were telling me something different the other day, mate, when you're on your dad's computer or something.
His dad's computer, probably.
Yeah.
But
My
not
dad's
Jacob's.
computer, he chews up spyware and viruses, so it holds up my computer, so I have to take his computer away from him.
Well, you never got me. I hate Windows. It sucks. Vincent,
I hold his computer hostage.
Vincent, are you happy on Mac? Are you happy? Do you enjoy Mac?
Yeah, I must say I do compare. I do prefer it to Windows for sure. I used to get really frustrated having to deal with virus protection, bloatware, firewalls, disk defrag, clean up. It's just too much maintenance.
It is. Yep.
I just want to turn the thing on and use it, and from day one of getting a Mac, that's all I've done. I've never defragged. I've never worried about virus protection or any of that. It's just you turn it on and use it just like a washing machine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't break every 5 minutes or require constant maintenance.
Okay, so what's the next keyboard shortcut for next week? Can you tell us what it is or not?
Oh, that would be. I could. How about I give you
Give us a hint.
a different one? Well, okay, I'll give you a hint. Next week we're going to be covering a way to improve your vocabulary.
Oh, good.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, because often I'll be reading something and I'll go, "Oh, what does that word mean?" And you could copy and paste and put that into the dictionary and look it up, but you just want to keep reading and you sort of guess, "Oh, that probably means something like that," based on the context. Well, this keyboard shortcut will allow you to find the definition of any word at any time, like with just one key, one keyboard shortcut. Bang, and you've got the definition of any words you want.
I'm excited about next Friday's clue, or not clue, but tip.
Yeah,
Shortcut.
so
that's good.
Do tune in for that one. But I really strongly encourage everyone to sign up to the mailing list because it is the easiest way to get them delivered to you.
Yeah, definitely. I just signed up to it just before.
You just still need to confirm your address.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yep.
Yep. And I would. I'll just add one little extra tip, which is not necessarily a keyboard shortcut per se, but it is related. If you go in, the Mac operating system has the ability to store your own shortcuts. So, some of these shortcuts may be so foreign and unintuitive. Well, you can go and make these shortcuts fit what you think is the right keys. And so if you just go into the system settings, go to keyboard, there's a shortcuts section there, and you can just add whatever you want.
All right.
That's cool.
I already just found it.
Wait a minute. You don't have a Mac.
Yeah.
No, I did a search. I did a contact search.
That's cheating.
No, he gave a good hint, so I used the hint and I went right to Google.
Better wait, Jacob.
Yeah, don't talk about it.
Yeah, don't.
I won't
mention this, mate, because he'll go off his head and people know about before the Friday next week. And
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah.
The reason you'll tune in to see it next week, even though you know what it is because you can't wait to see how artistic I get with my photograph.
Yeah, I have to say your photos are really good, mate, and some of the photos you do, like throwing the keyboard in the bin and that sort of thing, and that's cool.
Yeah, I knew that people would remember that. People will think, "What the hell's he doing that for?" and remember it.
Yeah, definitely.
The whole thing is about creating hooks.
Yep, definitely, definitely. Steve, do you use many shortcuts on your keyboard?
Occasionally, I probably need to learn some more, like doing like the different spaces. I used to remember because I do have them set up where I have 4 different spaces on each screen, so I can like cycle through them. Like I said, I do use a lot of shortcuts when I'm using Final Cut Pro 10. It does make it a lot easier, and they're fairly easy to remember, the basic ones. But yeah, I do use them occasionally.
Yeah, definitely. No, they're good. They're good tips. So how many more do you have to? How many more to go, Vincent, before you end this? Is it going to end anytime soon, or are you going to keep going?
There's no end in sight.
Good.
Nah. It's a bit time consuming. So maybe in the future where I don't have the time, it may slow down. But no, there's no stopping at the moment. Full steam ahead. Plenty more to go.
All right, cool. And tell us about Ventura and what you do apart from doing the keyboard stuff.
Yeah, I do. Well, it's mainly a web design business, but I'm finding that that's constantly morphing as technology changes. The times change, so I morph with it, and do a lot of small things like helping small businesses with things like when the recent Twitter change happened, a lot of people needed new headers, so I create those things. Also create strategies for social media campaigns. A lot of small businesses these days are knowing that they need to be out there and on social media, but they don't really know what they're doing, and they sort of just send out tweets whenever at random times to random people with random hashtags and random topics, and it's you need a strategy and to know when to do your thing to get the most impact out of it. So that's a big feature of what Vintuitive services are.
And how long has that been around for now?
Vintuitive?
Yep.
Well, it's probably about 5 years.
Okay. Good stuff. Any questions for Vincent, Jay, before we wrap up, mate?
Not really.
All right, Jennifer, what about any more questions or?
I do have one quick question. I'm wondering about Earth Pyramid. I know last time we spoke you were doing something with Earth Pyramid, and I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that at all.
Yeah, but it's a huge topic, and we're
short on time, probably. Okay.
Yeah, do go and check it out though. Earthpyramid.org. It's you can read all about it yourself there. It's a time capsule. We're building a pyramid, so it's
cool.
Exciting. It's interesting. It's challenging, but you can read all about it at earthpyramid.org.
All right.
But I would just throw one last thing in.
Yeah, go ahead, Vincent.
Intuitive does have always Easter eggs in everything. So, it's like an Easter egg is an old-fashioned term for something hidden. So go have a look around Vintuitive. They're not hidden very well. So there's a few links up the top, actually. One that looks like a camera. Click on that one, have a look, and you'll see a view of Adelaide, where I live. In fact, last night when it was pouring with rain, I went over to my camera page and snapped a few pictures and put them together. Check out Flickr. It's a beautiful scene of Adelaide last night in the rain.
Nice one. All right, we'll check that out. Jacob, final view of your show, and where can they get hold of you?
I love doing the show, and I liked having Vincent on. He was pretty good today.
He's good every time he's on this show, man.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, for his kung fu.
Hiya.
Steve, what about you?
Yeah, it was a great show. Actually, I also I was looking at your website because you also have a blog. That way you can put pertinent information and some really useful tips on your website too. So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, later on today, I'm going to post one about an Apple scam that's happening at the moment.
Ooh, really? Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, much along the same lines as the Facebook one you see there.
Yeah.
Do we want to, Jennifer, do you want to mention about Beats, the Apple board Beats or something?
About what? The Apple what?
Beats, Beats Audio?
Yeah, Beats Audio. What about?
Did Apple buy it or something?
They did?
I don't know, did they? I'm not sure.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, I've been keeping up with it. In fact, I did a news story on my show right before we did the show now, and it looks like it might be a reliable source, but they're looking to purchase Beats audio, and I think to me, I think the reason they're doing it is they're perhaps trying to get hold of their streaming music service, because they're trying to get theirs up and running. I mean, I know they sell like high-priced headphones and everything else, but at first I thought, wondering why are they buying this, because it's not really viable, a lot of this stuff that they have, and they're acquiring it for like $3.2 billion, which is a lot for the last time Apple made such a high-priced acquisition. I think it was only like $400 million, but nothing like $3.2 billion.
We'll have to wait till June, Steve, for the WWDC.
Yeah, well, supposedly it's going to come out here shortly. If they're, it is, they're actually going to do it. But
yeah, okay. Where can I get you on Twitter, Steve?
You can find me on Twitter as Chatterbox_live.
You get me on Twitter, Brodos and Techwebcast. Jennifer, final view on this show and.
I thought the show was fantastic. Always a pleasure to talk with you guys, as well as Vincent Brown. Huge fan. So I thought it went really well. So thank you. And for me, you can find me at jenniferruggiero.com. That's RUGGIERO. And my podcast is getnerdywithit.com. And all my links are on both of those two sites.
And also on Facebook, maybe too.
Yep. Facebook.com/Jennifer Ruggiero or Facebook.com/getnerdywithit. Yeah.
All right. Vincent Brown, thanks for being on, mate. We're going to get hold of you. And
yep, thanks for having me. Thanks for all the nice words from all of you. Just if you want to find me, you can just go to vintuitive.com and Vintuitive on Twitter and everywhere else. But just one final thing on the Beats thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people who are audiophiles who really love and care about their sound have said that the Beats headphones are really not very good at all. What the thing is they're very, very fashionable, and they've started sort of at the fashion end and worked backwards, and the actual technological aspects of the headphones are like secondary to the fashion aspects, and so I think Apple have learnt from the Google Glass sort of flop and realised, fashion comes first, and we need to look at making wearable tech fashionable. And I really think that's behind the $3.2 billion.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I always go back to the same headphones. I bought the AKG K99s not long ago, and they're great headphones. I wouldn't buy anything else.
But I've been saying for ages, wearable tech is headphones. Headphones are the cool wearable tech, and now here we have it. Apple seems to agree.
Yep. Do you wear headphones like Vincent, or do you have a good set of headphones?
No, I don't. I don't like them personally, but if I were to be out and about walking around, I would definitely much rather have information delivered to my ears than hanging off my face and getting in my eyes and my vision.
Yeah. All right, that's a good show, Vincent. Thanks for being on, mate. Next week we've got who's on next week, Steve?
Let me check real quick. I can tell you. I got to open up the calendar, and I don't think it's loaded up on the 17th. I don't see anybody scheduled unless I didn't.
For a second, unless you didn't accept it. Let me check it at
my
end.
Yeah, maybe I didn't.
Next week we have Sarah on. She does a works some sort of winery thing.
Ooh, I like to hear about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. And that's it, Jennifer. Thanks for being on. And Jacob, thanks.
I didn't say my Twitter.
No word from Andrew or Jody today, Jennifer.
Oh, you didn't hear from them?
No. Jody's out, and Andrew, I'm not sure where he is. He's probably out doing some baby stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Probably so.
He's probably, yeah.
Baby will be here soon, just next month, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Wow, that went quick.
It did indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob, what do you want to say?
You can follow me on Twitter at jazzbot3266910.
And Jacob, you lost the game.
Crud.
Well, that's it for Techwebcast this week. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed having your mind expanded. Tune in next week for more tech talk with Brad, Jason, and whatever crazy guest they've managed to rope in. Don't forget to get the Techwebcast app from iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at Techwebcast, and of course check us out on Facebook too. Until next time, may the tech be with you. Peace.